When I was young, my parents and my teachers always told me to follow my passion. And if I had a sort of dream, any sort of dream, it can be accomplished through enough hard work. Now I imagine everyone in the audience had their sort of dreams and passions when they were young. Some of us might have wanted to be an astronaut or a firefighter or something cool like that. For me, it was always playing the viola. I remember I'd always imagined myself standing at like Carnegie Hall with a full concert hall performing a solo in front of everybody. So people tend to have hats. It's a metaphor for what they do in life. And so for me, I always imagined that my sort of hat in this world was to be a musician. And of course, life had other plans. And so at one point, I decided no longer wanted to be a violist, wanted to go in the army, and then soon after I wanted to be a chef. And so if my life were to be a book, I would call it Finding the Right Hat. So, third grade, lunchtime, the music department comes in and showcases all the instruments, and I fall in love with the viola. I ran home that afternoon, told my Mom, I want to play the viola. And so we picked up a viola, and I just dived headfirst right into music after that. Did nothing but music through middle school, high school. I discovered orchestra, band, chorus, and at one point I was in 7 different music groups. So I was fully invested into music. And so when it came time to look at colleges, it was a no-brainer for me. I thought, I'll just do music. It's what I've done all my life. And so after auditions and interviews, I set off to University of Maryland, College Park to start the second chapter, a chapter where I lose my passion for music. Interesting fact, a cellist from the Chicago Symphony Orchestra said that the average performer practices around 3 to 6 hours a day. And that would prove to be a problem for me. On average, I played, liberal estimation, 1 hour a day. And it got worse from there. At one point, I had not touched my instrument in a week. And so I wouldn't know my music, and I'd be embarrassed, so I wouldn't show up, and then I'd be less prepared, and it just ended up being an endless cycle. And then on top of that, social factors caused me to start to become depressed, and it all piled up. And at one point, I almost decided to end it all. And so I knew right then and there that I needed to get out of there. And so I wanted to get out, but I didn't really know where to go. So I thought, well, I could do the army. And so summer after second semester, gather all my family together, and I say, I'm going to join the army. And jaws hit the floor, so to speak. I took some time to think about it, and I realized that I really just did not have any direction, and I just was kind of trying to throw my life away still. So I talked to my mom, and she told me, well, why not try community college? And I thought, okay, but I don't really know what to do. Well, I'm good at cooking, so maybe I'll try that out. And so that's the beginning of my third chapter. So, according to the Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics, executive chefs and head cooks are being hired 10% more until 2026, so that bodes well. Entered community college, and I had a different viewpoint on careers. It was no longer follow your passion. You can still follow your passion, but for me, a good career meant something that you're good at and something that you can sustain yourself off of. And cooking, well, I was adequate enough at it, but so I dove into cooking, and I got just better. And the difference between cooking and the orchestral scene was that there were already people working, and so I knew what to expect compared to high school orchestra. And so that would be the middle point, I'd say, of my third chapter, and I hope this chapter goes longer than the first chapter. So in conclusion, I've learned a lot over this sort of journey, trying to find the right hat. I learned a couple things. One is the difference between a hobby and a career. And two is to not put all of your eggs in the same basket, because you never know when something might happen and you want to be prepared. And who knows, I might end up in the Army anyway, or something completely different. But I do know this, is that no matter where you are in life, you can always start anew. And sometimes it takes you into your 40s before you really discover what you really want to do with your life.